Being a mother has made me a very strong student because I've had to learn to manage my time like never before. It's really been a balancing act between giving my children the right amount of care and at the same time devoting enough time to my studies. I'm almost a perfectionist when it comes to school, so I'm very focused, but I don't want my children to feel like I'm taking away from them. I wear a lot of different hats as a single mother of 2 children, and at school I'm able to put my best foot forward, and I think it allows me to be a little more direct in my approach to school and dealing with my professors, because I make it very clear up front, I'm a mother first. I'm going to devote all that I have to this class that I can, but my priority is my family and my home. And a lot of times that's not a problem. They understand that you're a continuing ed student for a reason. Their expectations of you are different than they are of a traditional student. It causes me to, I think, do that much better because I've got to show up the traditional student. It was something that I needed to make the best use of, and wanted to encourage them to look at it in a positive light. You hear so many negative reports about things happening on campuses and how, people spend all these thousands of dollars obtaining degrees and can't use them for certain careers. But I want them to understand that it does have positive results and implications, and that it gives you a sense of self. Self-esteem is something that I really want to work on building and continue to work on building within my children. And I think that achieving those goals in a means that was better than I did, in a way that was better than my mom did, will give them that sense of self. I was one of those children that would ask why or what if. I needed an explanation for everything. As an adult, I've grown to appreciate a lot of the things that my parents told me, and the discipline. Had I not received it as a child, I don't think I'd be as disciplined as an adult. My parents were very stern and very strict. As I've become a parent, I've inherited the sternness and strictness that they have, but my approach is slightly different with my children. I'm very cautious of the words that I speak to them and about them. And that's something I don't think my parents really thought much of at the time. They just thought they were telling me something and I were to do it. And if I didn't do it, I wasn't being obedient. But I really try to take the time to speak to my children and give them a better understanding as to why they're being disciplined and the reasoning behind it and the lessons I've learned growing up. It's a struggle going to work if you're doing something just as a job and you're not enjoying or loving what you're doing. So I hope that whatever they pursue, it's something that their hearts desire and that they're going to be happy doing. They're going to be fulfilled and feel like they make a difference in doing. And I don't want to say I want them to do any particular thing. I just want them to be happy and successful in whatever they do. When I first prepared to go to college, I actually had no idea about the finances of college. My parents signed for loans. I just knew I was going to college, and I had no idea what it meant. They put money in my bank account every month, and that was my spending money. So I didn't think about it until later on when I went back to school and I had to finance my education on my own, that I realized the costs and the implications of paying back loans and how they affect your ability to complete college. And I guess a lot of it was ignorance, not knowing where to start, how to begin, where to go. I had been paying on student loans for about 10 years, and I said, something's got to give here. And literally, I went on vacation, came back like the next week, and I said, for ha-has, let me just put in a college application and see what happens. And I did, and I got accepted, and literally within 3 weeks, I was back in school, and I had no idea which direction I was going in. I had no idea how I was going to finance it. I had no idea what I was going to major in, but I knew it was a step in the right direction. And once I made that move, I could then avail or make use of resources that were available to me to show me, you have this option, you have that option. I didn't feel confined anymore because I knew that I made the first step and others would be there to guide the rest of the way. Being a mother student versus a traditional student is very different. It looks very different. As a mother student, I don't have the time to actually enjoy the activities that are offered on campus. I don't have the extra time to get involved in the clubs and experience some of the offerings that the traditional students do have. And actually, if I were a lot younger, I'd actually probably think that I've missed out on something, and I would probably have some regrets. But at the age that I am now, I'm okay with not being able to be involved in the activities that the schools offer outside of my classes, because that was the choice, the conscious choice that I made in the delay in going back to school and having children before I finished my degree. So I'm adult enough to accept those responsibilities, but I would suggest to anyone who is looking to pursue a degree or be educated on a higher level that they really take the time and plan out the things that are within their control to be able to enjoy the campus life and enjoy living on campus and hanging out and getting the full feel of what college has to offer. Of course, every campus is different, every school is different, but being involved in developing relationships, that's the one thing I can say that I'm missing out on as a mother student. I am at a point now where most of the classes that I take are continuing ed, and they're in the evening, so it's a lot of people getting off of work, going to class, and going home. You don't take the time to hang out in each other's dorm rooms. We don't have the phone conversations. We don't hang out outside of school. It's really just this person's in my class, and then you go home. As a child, I didn't take my education very seriously. I knew I had to graduate high school, and I knew that I wanted to go to college, but I did not understand repercussions, and I did not understand that the decisions I make today will impact my tomorrow. That was something I really had to learn in my adulthood once I had gone through and looked back at how much better I could have done. I was educated in Longmeadow, Massachusetts from kindergarten through 12th grade through the METCO program, which essentially took students out of the urban neighborhoods and educated them in a suburban setting. It was an awesome opportunity. I don't feel that I took full advantage of the opportunities I was afforded, but I do think that it has positively impacted or molded me into the person that I am today. After high school, that fall, I went to Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia. Spelman College is a historically black college, very different because it's all women and mostly African American women, whereas I had been educated my whole life as the minority in a Caucasian majority environment. It was kind of a culture shock, one, because of the nationality difference, but to go from suburbia to the center of Atlanta, Georgia, where it was very urbanized, was a big difference for me. I attended Spelman for 3 months. When I got there, I found out that I was pregnant, and I came home on Thanksgiving break and never went back. I knew that I needed to go back to school, but I've been blessed enough to have jobs that were paying me salaries as if I had a college degree. So there really wasn't a rush for a long time. It was just kind of on my bucket list of things to do at some point. Before I knew it, 12 years passed before I actually did decide to go back. Every year there was a new excuse. So I can't do it because I'm a parent. I can't do it because I'm a single parent. I can't do it because I don't have the money. I can't do it because I'm still paying back loans from the first 3 schools I went to. And once I got myself a little focused on like my financial situation and realized that it was not going to be long before my oldest daughter was going to be attending college, I really made the conscious decision that I needed to go back to school. And as a parent, I think that you encourage your children to do better than you, or you want your children to do better than you. And there was no way I could tell them to do better than me, and my best was a high school diploma. So I felt that I needed to show them that hard work and determination pay off, one, but that there's an easier way to get to the same result that I was trying to obtain, which is a college degree. So for me, it's really knowing that I need to do this so that they see the struggle between me balancing work and school and home, and knowing that they don't want that for themselves, that they can go straight from high school into college and pursue whatever career they desire, and it be a lot easier than what they saw me endure. When I decided to go back to school 3 years ago, I knew that I wanted to pursue a business degree because I didn't want to work for people the rest of my life. I ultimately would like to own my own business, and I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to get that far, but having an understanding of the general direction that I want to go in, I think is what set me on the path to pursuing my degree in business. And then I've been toying with some ideas for my master's degree, but I'm taking it one step at a time at this point. When I went back to school on a whim, I decided I wasn't going to jump right back into pursuing a bachelor's degree because I had been out of school for so long. So I figured I'd start small, which is why I enrolled at STIC and completed my associate's degree in liberal arts. And I knew I couldn't stop there. I went on back to American International College, where I will be graduating with my bachelor's in business administration in May. And I do know that I am going to pursue my master's degree. I'm not 100% sure in what, but my hope is that I will land a position at a institution of higher learning that will pay for me to get my master's degree. Any young mother that has a desire and drive to go back to school, it is absolutely possible. What I would first advise you to do is employ every resource you possibly have that is willing to support you and help you in completing your degree, whether it's transportation, childcare, giving you a little free time for studying. That's one thing I had to do. I really had to employ resources that I hadn't necessarily been using all along. But my family and friends were very supportive in me completing my degree and were more than willing to help me in any way possible to get it done. So I would say don't be afraid. Like I said, you have to definitely make the first step. And a lot of times once you make the first step, people will be more than willing to help, as long as they know you're serious about it. My name is Roshanna Griffin. This is me on higher education. Believe and you can succeed.